Yo, what's up? It's your boy One Arm. Today we're bringing you guys a video on the first round of the draft, my takes on the draft, and winners and losers in my opinion. So, my first take on the draft was first time ever. It was online, right? We all know COVID's out there, so they had the draft online, which they had Roger Goodell sitting in his house. They had 31 cameras for all the potential first round draft picks that they thought were going to go, that they, would have invited to the green room in Las Vegas. And so, yeah, it was all online. It went off pretty well. There wasn't too many hiccups. I liked the fact that they had the TV behind Roger Goodell had a like 12 slot webcam thing where it had 12 different like fans that they allowed to be on the thing. So that was pretty cool. Some teams had it full. Some teams, had 4 or 5 fans there, but it was a cool little experience. It uh funniest part was the first overall pick, Joe Burrow, accidentally leaked who he got drafted by before Roger Goodell actually said his name, right? So it was, they were doing something and it was like Roger Goodell was talking, and then the analysts were talking about something, and they're like, we all speculate that Joe Burrow's gonna go number one and da 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 da, and all of a sudden it cut the cam cut to Joe Burrow's live feed, and he's holding a Cincinnati Bengals hat in his hand. And then as soon as it cuts the feed, it switches to Goodell, who then Goodell reads that the Cincinnati Bengals, the number one overall pick, drafted Joe Burrow. And so that was a little funny, little oopsie daisy. Um, Other things on there, really, I didn't have a problem with the online draft. It was cool. Everyone seemed to like it. I know people were. It was nice being able to see a lot of the guys at their homes with their families and stuff like that. Of course, they kept it kind of tight because they didn't want any goofs to happen. But yeah. So the draft went off. We had Joe Burrow go number one to the Bengals. Chase Young went number two to the Redskins, and that team just got insane. That defensive line. To all my Detroit fans out there, I accept your apologies for yelling at me, that for me claiming that you guys were going to take a cornerback in the first round. You guys took a cornerback in the first round, the best cornerback in the first round, but you guys still took a cornerback, and I forgive you. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. Okay, you guys got a really good corner in Jeff Okudah. I thought they were going to trade back, but they didn't. They stayed at 3. They could have traded back to possibly Miami or sorry, the back of my head itches. Or Miami or the Chargers, but I guess nobody wanted to pay the price tag for it, so they gambled, and it just happened to fall where it fell out where they thought they were going to go. The Giants took a tackle like we all thought. They didn't take that tackle that we all thought they were going to take. They actually took Andrew Thomas. Andrew Thomas, well-rounded tackle. He can play either right or left tackle. I think he started all 42 games. So they got themselves a good tackle from Georgia. We all thought that Wills Jr. was going to go there, but he didn't. Miami took Tua Tagovailoa. The funny thing about that was we were watching. They showed them when he got drafted. I don't know if they didn't look very energetic or very excited. I know people were saying stuff about it, but it was just funny to watch the family reactions. Justin Herbert went to the Chargers. Stays on the West Coast. Justin, we love you. Thank you for playing at Oregon and doing great things. Hope you get what you need in San Diego or in LA. Carolina, I personally thought they were going to take Isaiah Simmons. They didn't. They took Derek Brown, the tackle from Auburn. He's big DT, good big run stuffer. So they were going for stopping the run. And then right after that, the Cardinals took Isaiah Simmons. They didn't need a receiver because they got Hopkins. I thought they were going to go for a tackle to keep Murray upright, but they went for the big stud in Isaiah Simmons, who plays linebacker, cornerback, safety, whatever you need him to play, right? He'll probably play linebacker in the NFL, but next up is probably someone who's holding the most pressure on them right now was the Jaguars, and they drafted the cornerback I wanted. I wanted CJ Henderson, and they drafted CJ Henderson 9th overall. He has some big shoes to fill. You know, they're going to compare him to Jalen Ramsey, AJ Boye. Both of them are not there. So Jacksonville went and got CJ Henderson from Florida. Good pick. You know, I'm kind of sad he went there. And then Cleveland went and they shored up that offensive line with Jedrick Wills, big tackle from Alabama. Now Jedrick Wills can play left tackle. He can also play right. He plays right tackle, but he can also play left tackle. And I think he will slide over to left tackle because I think they have they went and got Conklin, who is right tackle. So Wills will probably move over to the left side, and they got themselves a good pair of bookends there on that offensive line. Right then we saw a run on tackles because it went tackle. The Jets took Mekhi Becton from Louisville, the runaway semi road grader, the Rhino, and I think with them taking the tackle, they are really committing to keeping Darnold up and giving some running lanes for Le'Veon Bell, and he's probably the best, run blocker in the draft this year. That was a good pick. Up next, we have the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, the Raiders were supposed to host the draft, but because of the whole pandemic thing, they did the virtual, or they did the online draft. But they did give the draft back to the Raiders. The draft will be in Vegas, not next year, but the year after. I think it's 2022. But they ended up selecting the speedster from Alabama, Henry Ruggs. Basic Davis pick, speed kills, and they wouldn't have got themselves the fastest player in the draft in Henry Ruggs. Up next, we saw our first trade. It was the Niners had the pick, but they traded with Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay had the pick after them, and they just swapped picks, and Tampa Bay came up and took Tristan Wirfs from Iowa, who is he's a tackle. And they went and made some big moves in the offseason too. And picking up Tristan Wirfs means that they really want to protect Brady. They want to keep Brady up. And so they got Tristan Wirfs, who I love Tristan Wirfs. So it was a great pick. San Francisco, who had the 13th pick, now had the 14th pick in the trade with Tampa Bay. They went and replaced the DT that they traded to Indy for the 13th pick. And they drafted themselves the D tackle from South Carolina, Javon Kinlaw. It was perfect. People were mad that they didn't go and select a receiver, but that defense is just too good to not replace a really good stud in Armstead and Eric that they traded to Indy. So I respect the pick there. They could have gotten Judy, they could have gotten CeeDee Lamb, but they had 2 picks in the first round, and they went and got the guy they really wanted in Javon Kinlaw, and he's going to be a monster there on that defensive line. And then up next, the Denver Broncos at 15. They went and selected probably the best receiver in the draft, 1A to 1B. It's CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy. They went and got Jerry Jeudy, insane route running. They're gonna pair him with. He's gonna pair well with Sutton. So that was a good pick. And then the Falcons took cornerback AJ Terrell, and then my Cowboys. It was crazy the fact that CD Lamb fell to us. I had him falling to us on a couple drafts, but I chose not to draft him for needs like safety and cornerback. But we ended up taking CD Lamb from Oklahoma, and I lost. I was like super excited. We now have an insane receiving core. Our defense a little lacking, but you know. And then the Dolphins had their second pick in the first round. They took tackle USC from USC Austin Jackson. Great pick. And then I want to say probably one of the first reaches in the draft came to the Raiders at 19. They took Damon Arnett from Ohio State. Oh no. Wrong one. Okay, yeah, no, they took Damon Arnett from Ohio State. Um he's a good corner. Definitely gonna upgrade that cornerbacking group they have there with can't remember his name, Mundi. Yeah, I can't remember his name, but yeah, no, Damon Arnett. Sorry, I was reading the wrong one. Damon Arnett. Then Chason went to the Jags, edge rusher, and then who I predicted was gonna fall here the whole time, Jalen Reagor went to the Eagles. They got themselves a speed demon. Listen, Eagles fans. I know you guys are a little bummed out, but Jalen Reagor is a lot faster than what he ran in the 40. Game time speed, you guys will be very impressed with him. The dude is just a monster. He just jumps off the table. Great speed, great jumping ability, breaks tackles. He can do anything and everything. Then the Vikings came up and they got Justin Jefferson, wide receiver. And then the Chargers actually traded back up into the first round to take Kenneth Murray, linebacker from Oklahoma. They traded with New England. Cesar Ruiz went to the Saints. They're building that offensive line to keep whatever quarterback back there safe. The San Francisco 49ers came up and got probably one of my favorite receivers in the draft in Brandon Ayuk, Demon from Arizona State. And then was the most intriguing pick in day one, and it belonged to the Green Bay Packers. Now the Green Bay Packers made a lot of picks. They drafted people this year, right? A lot of them were offensive linemen and defensive players, right? But they came up in a trade and they selected Jordan Love, quarterback from Utah State, right? Now they have Aaron Rodgers. So people are confused with that pick because let me explain something to you guys. Packers went to the playoffs last year, right? They were good. They were I don't know, a receiver away from winning. They went out and drafted zero help for Aaron Rodgers at the receiving position. They drafted a running back, but they drafted zero receivers in the draft. They have no help for Aaron Rodgers over there. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here with Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers. Who knows? Aaron Rodgers might not be there next year. Might do a whole Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre thing where he sits behind Aaron Rodgers for a couple years and then takes over, But we'll see. And then Seattle Seahawks kind of disappointed me. With Patrick Queen still being there, they went and took Jordan Brooks, linebacker from Texas Tech. He's fast. He's one of those linebackers, see ball, hit ball, see ball, get ball type of guys, But I don't know if that was the pick over Patrick Queen from LSU. But that's why, I do YouTube and it's not very successful. But up next, we have the Baltimore Ravens. Now, the Baltimore Ravens probably have one of the best drafts I've seen Somehow Patrick Queen falls to the Baltimore Ravens, and that defense just got that much more dynamic. Patrick Queen, big linebacker, runs hard. He is sideline to sideline speed. Um, yeah, another see ball, get ball kind of defender. And I want to say I had he was probably the best linebacker on my draft board. And the fact that he falls to Baltimore was just like, oh my gosh. They also drafted in the second round Swift. They drafted a running back. I can't remember if it was Swift or if it was let me check actually. Because they had a really good draft, and I was just like, man, this team just got that much more insane. They took J.K. Dobbins, running back from Ohio State. Sorry, it wasn't Swift. Swift actually went to. No, he was a early. Swift actually went to the Lions, so that was a good pick for the Lions there. They now have their speed demon and their bruising back. But so yeah, they took Dobbins from Ohio State with their second pick in the second round, or with their pick in the second round. So yeah, Baltimore's gonna be crazy to watch next year. Then we had the Titans. They came up and took Isaiah Wilson, tackle from Georgia. They could have used. I mean, they definitely had to replace Conklin, right? They needed to. They could have used defensive line help as well. They could have taken, I don't know, Gross Matos. They could have taken a few defensive linemen there. But they chose instead to take Wilson, tackle from Georgia. So yeah, and then the Dolphins with their third pick. Now they needed to get something on the defensive side because they went and drafted quarterback, tackle, and then they ended up drafting the cornerback from Auburn. I'm not going to try and say his name. His first name's Noah, but it's Igbinoghene. Yeah, I can't pronounce his last name. Sorry, Noah. But they went and drafted Auburn corner from there. I don't know if I would have taken him. There was still cornerbacks on the board, like Diggs and a few other ones that were a little bit higher, but they went and got who they wanted. Even though the Dolphins literally have probably the best tandem corners in the league right now in Howard and Byron Jones. So them drafting another corner, especially with Delpit and McKinney still on the board at safety, was a little like, really? But we'll see what happens there. Then the Vikings went and took Jeff Gladney, another corner from Texas TCU. I like Jeff Gladney. I think he's gonna have a good career in the pros. And then Kansas City, it was just a luxury pick. You know, they were just like, who do we want to take? And they went and took the running back from LSU, Clyde Edwards. Hellier. I like him. He's definitely gonna run well behind in that system. And so yeah, that was basically the first round of the 2020 NFL draft. It was entertaining. The first round actually I think it took longer online than it does actually doing it like there at the area. Yeah, like I said, there were some shockers there. The Packers taking Jordan Love. Jalen Hurts going in the second round to the Eagles. So that's going to be an interesting thing to see with the Eagles. The Eagles had another good draft. Other than the Jalen Hurts, I'm a little confused on the Jalen Hurts pickup. But other than that, they drafted actually really well in their other picks in the later rounds. What else? That's about it. That was just quick coverage of the first round of the 2020 NFL draft. Teams definitely got stronger. The Cardinals are definitely a team to watch out for, to look for. The Broncos, I liked what the Broncos did. They went and got themselves a good center. They definitely wanted to help out Drew Lock, so that was good. The Buccaneers definitely went and got themselves players they needed. The Jets definitely, Cleveland definitely showed that they wanted to improve on the offensive line. The Dolphins, here's the thing with the Dolphins. Now they have now 3 quarterbacks over there, right? They have Tua, Fitzpatrick, and Rosen, right? Now they're definitely not letting go of Tua. Fitzpatrick is shown that he can win. So the odd man out there is Rosen. Now I feel so bad for Rosen because he has talent, and I think him going to the Cardinals really hurt him and really hurt his confidence. But he'll fall somewhere else. They might trade him, but he'll definitely land somewhere else on another team. So hopefully he gets his confidence back. And yeah, Cleveland, Cincinnati. Like I said, they took Joe Burrows, and then in the second round they took one of my favorite receivers in the draft again this year was T. Higgins. They took the big man from Clemson, T. Higgins. So it was an interesting draft, and I will be super happy for when it goes back to being live drafts at the venues. I love the whole online thing, but it's definitely a little bit more special for the players when they're there, and it's like a whole new atmosphere, and I think this year's crop of players, this year's draftees, missed out on an experience of a lifetime, walking the carpet, doing all that stuff, the media, the interviews, all that things. And so hopefully it goes back to live next year. But yeah, so that was just my take on the first round of the NFL, of the 2020 NFL draft. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't done so yet, pound the hell out of that little notification bell. That way you guys can get notified every time I go live with a new video. And y'all stay safe out there, okay? Y'all be careful. Y'all take it easy. Love y'all. Peace.